Hi, you're with Sue and Get Sold. And before I bring my little guest on, I just wanted to take a moment and have a little chat, you and I. Um, I kind of wanted to just mention that last 2 months or so for me have been sort of like a spiritual battleground. I knew when I came into this lifetime I was to be a healer, and I've had a lot of experience that with other lifetimes and such. And a lot of healers have to go through a lot more intensive training all over again. So like lifetime to lifetime, if you come in not remembering who you are and you're the greatest warrior that ever lived, right? So I went through a lot of stuff. I've mentioned that in other videos, abuse and so forth. And as soon as my parents died in 2016, I just rapid fire went through all these different spiritual rememberings, processes from Dark Night of the Soul to Karmic Twin Flame that would tear me apart basically from everything that I grew up with that was not a good belief system. After that, it was shadow work, which I think I got some PTSD. I know I did from that PTSD from the shadow work. Um, Going inward to my own shadows. So it's been rapid fire. This last round was the biggest round of all, which I needed at least, was it about five uh, women warriors, soul warriors, to pull me out of this ditch, of this mess, because it has to do with negative entities. It's real. And although I always had one eye open, what I say spiritually is I understood there was a reason for everything, but it didn't make the suffering any less or any easier. It just meant there was a reason for it. And now the reason is coming. What I didn't know when I was younger was the Great Awakening. I didn't know that I was in this time that we're all in right now of transitioning into a new earth. And that requires a lot of everyone. And there will be some that choose not to. Um, so the last 2 months for me have been probably the most intense, where I had to become aware finally that I had attachments for many, many years that led to a lot of my unhappiness, a lot of my depression, so a lot of hitchhikers were with me, coming and going, feeding off of me. Um, it was something I wasn't ready for until now, after going through those rapid fire processes, one by one by one by one. And I'll tell you, I ate my way through them. I became absolutely terrified at some points. Now I'm not, because I understand I had two intensive healings the last week and a half. Remembering the healings reminded me, showed me who I was as a soul, who I was connected to, how old I was as an ancient being and an ascended master. Oops. And we are all these amazing souls from somewhere. We are combinations of star seeds, of earth, of I have tree soul in me. So the roots of the trees, I know nature, I know the fae realm, the angels, so we all have these amazing roots. So when you listen to Soul.2k, it is because he remembers who he is right out the gate, because he knows he had a mission to come down here to do, whereas the rest of us had forgotten, but we knew it was important. So my job now is to remember who I am and help others remember who they are. You remember who you are, where you came from, and that you chose and were chosen to be here now during this extraordinary time. I didn't ever want to call it extraordinary because I've been suffering so much. But the last leg of the journey was to understand the negative entity realm, which Soul.2k is very, very well adjusted with, and has no fear and understands how it all operates. I've been reluctant to have him talk about those things, because for those listening for the first time, in not having a good sense of self, it can be terrifying. It can be terrifying. And you can easily feel like a victim. I was angry at first. I was very angry at first. And then when I saw the total picture, I was also in training to close portals in houses. I was attacked at some point months ago, but I knew it. And it wasn't like a sneak attack. I knew exactly what they were doing, and I went in and etherically fixed it. So I just wanted to remind all of you out there something that Twyla had said, and that I guess we've said time to time if you watched our videos, is ask inside. If you can't feel, I had so many blocks. I had so many, and I was like, I am here to be a healer. Why can't I remember things? And it was because there are something called shielders and other entities that will get in the way, that will make sure that you do not remember who you are. So I just wanted to have this little conversation with you. And maybe the trajectory from this point will change depending on where we are as a collective. Um, but I'll bring them out shortly. Also, too, my list of things to say is I do want to thank the 62 subscribers. I know I had a big to do over the 35, but I do want to thank you so much for joining on board and for supporting Soul.2k, because this has been really hard for him. And he is very ADD, as am I. So the two of us working together is pretty comical behind the scenes. So just appreciate so much all of your beautiful, beautiful comments. I can't thank you enough for that. Really can't. Let's see. What else did I want to say? I guess I covered about everything I wanted to say before I brought him on. So I'm going to pause this and then see if he's ready to come on. We did have another viewer question, so thank you, and stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. It's Sue, and I think you know my guest, Soul.2k, with you this evening. And so we have a little bit of a agenda we're going to go over, but first we're going to do our prayer of love and protection. So, you ready? Yep, okay. Okay, bringing in divine white light, going down through our bodies, going all the way down through our feet, down into Mother Nature, anchoring ourselves into her beautiful crystal caverns in the earth. Now we're going to bring that beautiful white, pristine, loving, white creator source light up through our bodies, up through our crown chakra, filling our whole bodies, expanding outward as far as we can reach. Beautiful, loving white light. I'm going to ask Regina, my angel, for protection. I'm going to hold the mudras here, and we're going to ask for protection and lots of love tonight for everyone. Thank you. Okay, so our agenda is just basically like keeping things in order. So I wanted to tell everybody that we went to the Conscious Life Expo in LA on the 11th. We went to go see Elizabeth April. We couldn't do the whole thing because it's a bit exhausting. And Soul.2k is 8 years old, so it's a bit much. I was overwhelmed when we got there. Had a little anxiety attack. Lots of people, lots of stimulation. But we got to see her. She was amazing. So that was really cool. Okay. Now, after Soul.2k does his questions, and he wants to show you something special that he got from the expo. All right, so we're going to do the bowl thing again. Oh, wait, first I'm going to do a reader question. Okay, so Inger ML is kind enough to give us another question. Thank you. And this is beautiful. His answers are always a joy to listen to. Thank you for that. Would he be able to answer this question? Now, he doesn't like me to ask him the questions ahead of time. Of course, that makes me nervous, but it is what it is. So he didn't want to know what it was ahead of time, so we'll see what happens. And the question is, there is talk about a fungi invasion plus global lockdowns. If this happens, What is the divine plan behind it?
So this new fungi, like what is it?
Well, the question is there something to do with it? Is there some kind of something regarding, because people have heard of this. Also, Blossom Goodchild talks about it on her channel with the Federation of Light. And so people have heard of it here and there. So go inside and just see what you come up with.
So I think of this fungus. It wouldn't happen. Um, but there is gonna be a different kind of fungus happening. But
Okay.
this thing that you're talking about isn't gonna happen.
Okay. So what about any more lockdowns or whatever?
Next lockdown, they and it will start in Texas and slowly make its way like north, like northeast across the border.
Okay.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm talking about the virus it's not this virus, but in a different one. And it's gonna stop in Connecticut. The person who's carrying this virus. So from Texas to Connecticut,
So what,
all
can you answer what it is? What is this thing?
it's a different kind of fungus.
Is it a fungus or a virus or is it
It's a
man-made?
virus. It's a virus.
Okay,
It's
so
man-made.
okay. And when is this supposed to happen?
Right before like the good age.
Can you go inside and get more specifics? Because people need kind of a little more, like, can you go inside and ask a time frame or something? Take it or leave it, however you wish. We don't do fear mongering here, so please understand everything has a purpose. Okay.
It's they aren't giving me a time frame, so I think we're not meant to know it yet. I don't know why.
Well, simply because we have to work on going inside, we have to work on establishing our strength with Creator Source so that when these things do happen or they try to sabotage us, that we have the strength to say no, thank you. And okay, so with this thing you're talking about, is there a divine purpose behind it? Is the second part of the question. Is there,
The government is just doing this to try to shut us down more. And the whole purpose of this is they're trying to defeat half the population of, well, the whole world,
hmm,
which, so that's the purpose, but it's not gonna last so long, and it's not, of course, it's not gonna be so, not gonna last as much as our last virus, and it's not, gonna be as fatal.
right? So in other words, it's just a scare tactic because they know they're losing. They know they've lost ground and they'll do what they can to try to continue to scare us. But a lot of us are awakened, and a lot more are waking up every day. So does that sound true to you?
Yeah, but it will, um, but like halfway through the virus, it will, meet Canada. It will get into Canada.
Okay. Um, I'm sure everybody's going to have more questions on this specific topic because I've been sort of avoiding it, but since we did get this question, and I want to bring you whatever it is that Soul.2k finds out, but I do want to put this disclaimer out there. You go within your own self and you take what you need and leave the rest. This is what a lot of the podcasters will say because everybody is at a different level of growth and awakening. And again, we want no fear here. All we want is loving empowerment. So if we're going to answer questions like this, it's kind of like a deal between us and you that you will promise to not take it fearfully and you will take any information with the understanding that it depends on the collective. It depends on how strong we all get, and we have to look out for one another. That is what is going to defeat more of the dark, is if we all understand who we are and our power and our greatness as part of Creator Source. So that's my little disclaimer. Okay, so I guess we'll leave that question there for now. Maybe there will be offshoot questions for that. This is something that I had actually, Marik had brought up to him weeks and weeks ago, and I was really hesitant to bring this forward. But there it is. So take it or leave it. All information is coming forth with love. So stay empowered. Next, we'll answer just a couple of random questions from our little fun bowl here.
The bowl of magic.
The bowl of magic. Okay, so grab one, and some of them are the same topics as before, but I told him, I said, if it says something like planets, then you get to choose. There's one called a free card too, so he can pick any subject he wants. So we'll see what happens.
That was spiritual here. I got this last time.
All right, what is it? Which one?
I mean, it's really specific, and I already explained all of it.
You don't have to, then what I want you to do is take an offshoot of that. You can talk about other spiritual jobs. Remember we had that whole conversation about spiritual jobs when people go to the other side?
I talked about that in a different video.
Okay. And then you talked about where my dad went?
Huh?
Remember you talked about where my dad went to another planet to go do something?
Yeah.
So, all right, pick another one then.
Yeah. All right, mythical. Oh my God, I got this one. The other one too.
I know. So this is a cool one, mythical but real. You want to talk about dragons? When I had that super cool healing that I really needed, the dragons came in for me. And I just wonder if you could either contact a dragon, talk about the realm, talk about why they are real, but we just don't have them in our reality right now.
So, like, are dragons real and stuff?
That's the question you want to answer then? Yeah.
Yes, they are real in the universe. So dragons take form as gods or as ultra gods because they are so dragons are like mythical gods, and they are some of the first gods that ever existed.
Oh wow. Cool.
Like the first ever gods that ever existed.
So, you know what I also learned about Mother Earth is that she was made, or she has her own dragon, and that somewhere along the line the dark made it their own and kind of turned it into a negative thing. And so in a lot of movies and stuff, whatever, again, you'll always see like a nasty dragon, but actually it's a sacred thing. This is what I've recently learned. So anything else on the dragons? Different kinds, different realms?
Oh yeah, there's elemental dragons, but most of them are just soul dragons.
Okay.
Which are just the main ones. They can actually control souls and control if they're negative or light. And a lot more that they can kind of like edit with souls.
Okay. So again, another disclaimer, everything has a light and a dark to it. It cannot, our existence is based on polarity, light and dark. And our job is to integrate both. In other words, accepting both with no judgment. That is our task as human beings, as spirits. When we're in the other realm, it's easier not to have judgment because there's no need. You see everything, you understand the workings of the universe. But when we're in human form, it changes. We judge, we have all these human parts to us. So everything we talk about has a light and a dark, and a purpose to that light and a dark. So, okay. You want another topic, or do you want
to? Maybe at the end of this video, right before I do light language, I can contact one of the most famous or old and powerful dragons. And
Goosebumps.
his name is, hold on,
I love this.
is Shraken the snake dragon.
Wow.
Because it's a really long dragon.
Okay. And you can actually talk with him?
Yes.
Would you like to do that now? I think
Sure.
Okay.
First, I want to describe his shape. So he's really long. His length is actually 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And he has lots of like kind of tiny wings. Every single feet there is, but his main wings are right next to his face. Like right here.
Wow.
And they have 10 feet in length. And all the other ones all the other wings are like 2 feet in length.
Wow. That's pretty neat. So what does he have to say to us? What would he like to give as a message?
He says nobody will ever not be equal, and you never think that anything can get in your way while doing spiritual stuff, because it may be a challenge that you're facing, or a lot more, and that you can do anything.
Man, that's just got me teary-eyed a little bit because before I brought Soul.2k on, I was just talking about everyone's equal. We somehow feel like, we have this system where somebody, knows more, so they're better than us, but we're all that spark of divine white creator source light. We just learn at different levels and we choose different jobs, but that was beautiful. Tell him thank you for us listening. We appreciate his wisdom. And, ooh, wow.
I'm gonna pick up another card.
Never know what's gonna come out. So,
Is this card?
what do we got?
Oh, free play!
Free play.
Alright. The thing that I wanted to talk about, which I guess I will talk about right now, is a surprise I would have done at the end of the video, and I have it right behind this hand. And before I reveal this, why don't you guess? I'll give you like 3 seconds.
For me to guess or them to guess out there?
Them to guess.
Okay. All right, you guys, you get one,
Right.
two. Oh, go ahead.
2, 1. Alright, let's see. And it is a ring.
Beautiful. Let me see if we can put that up a little closer to the camera. So he had this made at the Expo. A beautiful young girl who had this very humble booth, and both the person we went with and I were very drawn to this person. We just felt like she was, very just of light, really good energy. So he had that ring made for himself, picked out the crystals in it, and you talk to him, you tell him.
All right, so this I wanted to name it the Ring of Time, because it kind of like the colors, and to me they kind of look like the sun and the moon. But this ring is a special ring, and the reason why, it's because this ring was made literally by God, like right from God's hands, and it was made for me to find it and wear it. So this ring, let me open close. The 2 colors on this ring represent something. So first off, this color right here is it looks kind of green, but it's more kind of blue here, really. And that color represents courage and like not judging and equalness. And this color, the purple, it's more light.
And I think that one's an amethyst, and I think the other one might be an agate, for one of the agates, but the purple one is definitely
Yeah, so the purple represents the light and the dark combined, which means you went through the dark and you've done it all, and you have all the light you need. And it also means that you are ready to get another challenge and a adventure.
Wow. And
And
I
it
would,
also,
yeah.
this ring has a very big, like, really good energy field, which means it's any negative entities can't get close to this ring or the person who wears it.
I
And by
like
the way,
that.
anyone who wears it gets the trait of these two, of what these two crystals represent.
Well, the funny thing happened yesterday. Well, it wasn't funny at the time, but it fell off his finger and we didn't know where it was. And I was bound and determined. I was asking within,
Or
like,
I lost it. I lost it.
yeah. Well, today, oddly enough, the ring found me. I didn't go looking for it. I just in my mind said, please show up. And I wound up going over to the bed here and I stepped on it. I'm like, how, where? I hadn't seen it. I'd been through this path from yesterday night to the morning, hadn't seen anything. So,
And the weird thing is that I haven't been in there for the whole day.
no,
And
that's cool.
that night, the night that I lost it, when we were out in our other place, this is for a different topic for a different video.
Mhm.
The spirit realm, not the spirit realm that I already talked about, a different one. And this she, while we were visiting, she asked the bird if she can tell us where it is or know or get it
That's
and
right.
bring it to us, bring it back.
I
So
forgot.
that bird definitely
Listened?
yeah.
It's too bad like we couldn't when you explain about how the universe works and timelines and material things, quantum and all that, how material things show up in our lives, what a great conversation. But you'll have to do a little homework on that one first. There's plenty of videos out there on quantum and how matter is created and so forth with frequency and all that. So, do you have anything else?
I think we'll end the video here.
So with your light language, you will
Yep, I
give us a
do.
prayer and some kind of encouraging love.
I Hamyak Diam Boy Jam and Yang Jam Point Yash Boy Hum Hiccup. I'm Yang Point Yang Boy I Point Jamba. It translates to, if you are drawing something, take it because it's probably a message from an angel or God himself, or one of your guides or guardian angels. They can become a blessing or can teach you a lesson. They they can be a huge part of your life, including your spiritual life.
So just to recap, because I was enjoying that so much, you're talking about the lesson?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oops. Okay, that's our cue. Say bye.
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 We'll see you. Have a good time. Bye.